Hey everyone, this is Rob the Explorer Animation Bliss, and welcome to another Disney Corner. So today's Disney animation I'll be reviewing today is Pinocchio. Now, before I get into my thoughts about this movie, I would like to remind everyone that new videos will be posted up every Sunday. It could be Sunday morning, Sunday night, or Sunday evening, depending on when I can get the videos posted up. And if you happen to see any videos posted up during the week, that must mean that there was a bit of anime and news released in the week that we wanted to cover. So those would be considered special videos. And every Monday we have the top 50 animated facts series where we go over 15 facts about that was suggested for a cartoon series that was suggested by the viewers. So those will be posted up every Monday. So now let's get into this movie, Pinocchio. So Pinocchio was basically based off of an Italian folktale written by Carlo Collodi back in the 1800s, I believe. But the movie itself was made in 1940. And what this movie is all about is that Geppetto wishes that one day he can have a real son because he has no children, and he ends up creating a puppet named Pinocchio, and he wished that Pinocchio was a real boy. And then the blue fairy comes in and grants Geppetto's wish and makes Pinocchio to a boy somewhat, except Pinocchio's still a puppet, but he's just a living puppet, but he has the personality of a little boy. Um, and so throughout the film, Pinocchio tries to learn the difference between right and wrong, and he has to learn how to be honest and truthful towards people. And he goes through a lot of adventures throughout this film, it's including meeting up with the puppet master Stromboli, going to Pleasure Island, and then going through Monster the Whale. And Jiminy Cricket ends up accompanying throughout this journey as he's Pinocchio's conscious, and he tries to tell Pinocchio, what's right and what's wrong, and he tries to make sure Pinocchio doesn't get into any trouble. So that's pretty much what the gist of Pinocchio is all about. So what are my thoughts about this movie? I thought this movie was fantastic. Let's talk about the animation first. I thought the animation for its time was very well done. The animation is so beautiful, especially the scenes with the blue fairy. And I noticed that the blue fairy is like the most realistic character in the movie. And I like the fact that she's like the most realistic character in the movie because it makes her really stand out from all the other characters, and also really makes her look like such a gorgeous looking character among that setting. And I also love how they did the glittering magic around the blue fairies and makes it look so beautiful. Those are some of my favorite scenes with the blue fairy. And I also like the scenes where Pinocchio's going up against Monstro. Like you can see the ocean waves looking so realistic and bobbing up and down whenever Pinocchio and Geppetto are like swimming in the waves. And then there are some like other sequences that are very well done for its time, like the donkey transformations, which I'll get into later. But the animation is so well done for this movie, especially for 1940, and it still holds up to this very day. Another thing I also liked about this movie is that I like the characters. Excuse me. I like the fact that Pinocchio in this movie is much nicer than he is in the original book. If you read the original Pinocchio story, you notice that Pinocchio is not a very kind-hearted boy, especially since he, at one point in the book, like kills the cricket. But anyway, I like the fact that Pinocchio in this movie is very innocent, so you can actually buy his naivety in this film, since he's a puppet, he just came to life, so he doesn't know any better. And I think the movie did a really good job of showcasing how much Pinocchio doesn't know a lot about the world, and he's just very innocent in all this. And I love the character Jiminy Cricket because I think he's a very charismatic character, and I like the fact that he tries his hardest to make sure that Pinocchio doesn't go down the wrong path and get himself in trouble. He tries to help Pinocchio whenever he can. So I really like that about Jiminy Cricket's character. And I really like the relationship that Pinocchio has with his father Geppetto. Like, I like the fact that Geppetto treats Pinocchio like a real boy, despite the fact that Pinocchio's still a puppet. Because it really shows how much Geppetto really loves Pinocchio for who he is. And I like how that film's really yo it really shows that. So let's talk about the scarier bits in this movie. I think this was like one of the scariest Disney movies early on, or at least in the golden age of Disney. And it's a very, very good reason. Like, I think all the villains in this movie were very threatening, especially the scene with Stromboli's like threatening that, if Pinocchio tries to run away from him, he's going to kill him or chop him up into firewood, which was like really scary part in there. But I think the scariest part of this entire movie was definitely the donkey transformation scene. That scene just gives me lots of chills. I could tell you who transformed in that scene, but everybody who's seen this movie or know about this movie's reputation as being scary probably know who I'm talking about. But yeah, that scene was like really scary, like because the way the boys were yelling out "Mama" when they're transforming was like so creepy and it was so realistic. So I like how that movie is able to put in some lots of scary bits into here, and yeah, it makes the movie very interesting to watch. Excuse me. Um, Also, the scenes with Monstro are pretty scary also because it's like you're thinking, oh, there's this big animal after the main characters, and he seems very vicious. So I like how they did Monstro in this movie. So I like how this movie just has a perfect balance between being heartwarming, being sad, and being terrifying all in the same time. And I think this movie does all that very well. So overall, I definitely think Pinocchio is a fantastic film. It definitely holds up to this very day. Again, it's like it is one of the darkest films of the original Disney trilogy or original Disney movies back in the 1940s, but it's still a very good movie to watch. I definitely highly recommend you check out Pinocchio whenever you can. It's definitely one of the best Disney movies I ever seen, and I'm pretty sure you'll definitely enjoy this film when you get the chance to watch it. So that's my review on Pinocchio. And tell me in the comments below, have you seen Pinocchio? And if you have, did you like the film? Did you hate the film? Please let me know in the comments below. Oh, and also, what was your scariest moment in the entire film? If you have seen the film, please let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter so we keep you updated on any new videos we post up. And also, like our Facebook page. And also support us through Patreon so we can continue to post up good content for this channel. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rabbia's blog, Animation Bliss, and I'll see you later.